throw some shrimp on the Barbie. TJ, the man from down under, has entered chat. Hello, everyone. How are you today? I hope you're well. I'm fine. Thanks for asking.
Edgybat has entered chat.
Hello, Etchibat. Hello, White Wolf. Hello, Heresy Killer. And hello, TJ. How are you? Happy Hump Day. The day that, for the longest time, I thought meant something different than what it actually means. TJ, yeah. Happy post-hump day. I'm well, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for asking. Today is mail day. I have received goods from Kickstarter. This is a comic book I kickstarted. That they need some work on shipping policies with art prints. I should complain about that. It's called Hard Code. Craig Patton. Sort of a cyberpunk-esque thing. I don't know if this is toss or not. Yeah, I definitely can't show this. But anyway, kind of fun. Kind of a neat little... Yeah, I like it too. It's similar to the other one I showed you guys from Deathburger. But yeah, I can't actually open the book because they're boobies. Are these okay? Not that one. Gnoinu, welcome. Hello, how are you? Different kind of nippers. Yeah, I really was attracted to the art style, which is why I got it. I love this kind of, it's like vaporware, cyberpunk kind of genre stuff. Hey Jeff.
Connected to chat at 56k baud.
But the corners are all fucked up because they don't know how to ship stuff. Then it came with some stickers. I never know what to do with stickers. Should probably look at these too, and some postcards. Maybe I'll send someone a postcard. The future is coming. Cool stuff. And a t-shirt that I think just says Hard Code. Yeah. To confuse people who see me in public. Well, anyway. That was fun. It's mostly an art book. I think I can show some of the pages. Not quite as fancy as the ones from Death Burger. The future is now. That's okay. Very similar, though. Very similar style. That page is a nope. And we'll stop here. We'll stop before this next section. Now, you probably already think I'm a little pervy, but to my credit, I didn't really know what the story was going to be about. There was very little information about what the content was going to be. Exploding panty, please. Dare I go further? No, that's a big nope. Yeah, that's almost like Aeon Flux. Yeah. Yep, no, too risky. Anyway, all good. So, tonight, we're going to be continuing with the Schnabelgun. Mail day is always fun. I have 2 packages inbound, and I bet one from Canada. And I bet the one from Canada beats the Hong Kong one. What did you get from Canada? Oh, did you get something? Did you get what I think you may have got? Wow, that grammar was terrible. Too hot for Twitch to handle. That's right. That's right. You'll have to sign up for the OnlyFans in order to get that content. The Creature Caster. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I might have thought. Creature Caster. Amazing content, Creature Caster. In fact, I have it right in front of me still. I haven't put it away. For anyone wondering what kind of stuff Creature Caster does, I just have to make sure that the pasties are still on. I don't doubt it, White Wolf. I don't doubt it. There's a few out there. There's like, what was the other one that I heard about? That I opened once and went, yeah, nope. Oh, I can't remember the name of it. There's another streaming service that's just like pretty raunchy. It's basically just people gaming with no clothing on. Anyway, this is a Creature Caster model. There are pasties on, so you can't, no nipples here. But really, really detailed resin kits that are quite fancy. She's thick, but yeah, cool stuff. Making progress on your Bellacore, but you made a horrible mess of the wings yesterday. May have to start all over again. Well, hey, you know, the nice thing with resin is you don't need to worry too much about cleanup, but you can usually clean stuff off of it pretty easily. Just go light, you know, Q-tip with some lacquer thinner. Or if you're just using acrylic, simple green works well. Oh, it's plastic. Sorry, my mistake. Yeah. Keep the lacquer thinner the fuck away from that then. Yeah, apologies there. Anyway, so onward and upward here. I made a fair bit of progress on may have to spray primer. No, you can use I don't know if you can get it in Australia, but you can use simple green if you want to just sort of take your time and do it properly. Let me just grab Discord because we recently had a conversation about that. Helping crits. This stuff here, TJ. If you can find that, as Drift has experienced, and I had heard of, I'd never tried it though. That stuff, if you leave it in for a while, if you leave the parts soaking for a bit, while maybe you paint the rest of it. Hey, Greatest Chan, enjoy the lurk. Enjoy the lurk. I don't actually have a lurk command. It's on my list of big things to do. That one I'm going to do really soon, though, because it's always embarrassing when people type that and nothing happens. I mean, I could say something like, hey, enjoy the lurk, or, you know, Greatest Chan is lurking. Lurky, lurky, lurk. But that doesn't have the same... Anyway, I'll just leave you alone. But Simple Green is a great product for stripping paint. As I was saying, Drift used it on some old models that I think he was saying were from like the 80s, that would have had to have been painted in like the only model paint that was available back then. That's like Tester's enamel paints. You know, the little square, rectangular, cuboid bottles. And if it can take off that stuff, it'll take off your acrylics for sure. But anyway, it's just a thought. It's just a thought. You know, rather than painting over it, spraying over it, acrylic especially, acrylic's pretty thick, so you'll lose detail. So you might want to just take the time and you just leave it soak. Yeah, they cleaned up really well with Simple Green. Yeah. So yeah, check that out. And hey, if it'll take, like I said, if it'll take off a Tester's enamels, it'll definitely take off your what are you using again? Vallejo. Yeah. Anyway. All right. So the last couple of days, well, maybe just the last day, I did a fair bit of work, preparatory work on the Schnabelgun on the all work no play stream. Which I know some of you were there. I don't know to what capacity you were actually paying attention. But we got these pieces done. So the main ones are basically, we got all of the springs finished. The springs are kind of a pain in the ass because what Luca does is, with these kits, he'll leave them these sorts of, he'll leave these sort of cowlings almost. I don't know what you'd want to call them, but if you can see right here. Right, that, and then there's a matching one over here. And what those are is his intention is that you're going to drill those out and run a wire or a cable, or in the case of some of these things, a spring. So there's one up here. Oh no, not that one. Sorry, there's one here that connects back up to this piece. Right, between here and here. And so on the feet, the same things exist here. And I use springs because I like that, you know, I want to say I like that they're ribbed for pleasure, but that's probably inappropriate. Oh no, wait, this is a mature stream, so it's okay. But you could just use a piece of wire in there. If you use wire, make sure you don't use silicone coated wire. You want something like PVC, cheap. You need the cheap stuff if you're just using wire, because you know your paint's not going to stick to silicone. So in other kits like the big Briegel that I've shown on stream, that one was done with I didn't use springs in that. I used PVC, cheap ass wire. But I use springs, and you can just buy packs of springs. I think I got them on eBay like this. All right, and small springs like this, little tiny ones, they're easy to deal with. Oh, and Drift, I just saw that no, they were not included. It's kind of just left to your own device how you fill those. Some of the very early kits, like the ones that were were produced, that Luca did, that were produced from by Industria Mechanica, they did include like brass for pinning. They included some wire for this kind of thing. They included separate photo etch. But the latest stuff from Luca, he's kind of cut back on all of that. The price hasn't come down though, just saying that. But no, you have to get that stuff yourself. So it's okay. It leaves you to more using your imagination a little bit more. And that's where I came up with the idea of springs. But on that subject, because it came up on Discord today, and I don't know, Drift, if you saw my response, springs are what I said on Discord was they're one of those things that seems like a really good idea, but then in your head, but then in practice, it's not as easy as you originally thought it would be. And I said it was analogous to owning a wild owl as a house pet, right? I wanted to give you something that you could relate to, because you're a bird guy, so, I thought maybe that was a good analogy. I don't know. Only because owning a wild bird, not a wild bird, a wild owl in particular, and I mean a wild one, not one that's domesticated, because I think it was on Echibat's last stream, Di Shenlong brought up the subject of wanting to own an owl. And I went to school with a guy, and I went to college with a guy whose parents homed an owl. And they weren't, it was actually a little bit unfortunate because they weren't really explained what it was going to be like homing and taking care of and kind of, this wounded owl that, and I mean, I don't want to say a bunch of shit here that you already know, but let's just leave it at having a wild nocturnal killing machine in your house. As cool as Harry Potter and the idea of pet owls was, it's not a good idea in practice, right? It's something that's really it's got a lot more awesome factor in your head, right? And a non-domesticated owl, and this, it was hilarious because I don't know if you caught any of what I was saying in Echibat's comments, or chat, sorry, but it was like this thing, this great horned owl, I think it was, fucking hated everyone in that family, and would sit on top of this really high armoire in the living room, and which it was destroying with its talons, right? Because talons tend to not be that friendly with wood. So, and it would just look with just hatred at everybody in the family. And they said that this thing was just an absolute horror to have around. People forget that they're nocturnal. And so you have this thing that sleeps during the day when you're awake. And then when you go to bed, it wakes up and makes a fuckload of noise. Right. And I think they had it right during mating season. And it was just it was horrible, but it was absolutely hilarious being able to go over there and experience it and be able to leave that nightmare. But anyway, what makes that better is I read a book when I was young about a kid in Saskatoon that owned an owl. So I always figured Canadians just had owls as a thing. I don't think we have owls. We don't have owls. We don't have beavers, moose, or Canadian geese as things. Just so you know, we stay away from them. But yeah, bad choices seemed fun at the time. That's exactly what it is. But yeah, this owl, they had it for a month and a half, and they at the end of that, every day he looked worse and worse in terms of just lack of sleep and having this thing. He said nothing with any kind of stuffing, survived. Every pillow was shredded, every stuffy was shredded, cushions, everything. And what was the other thing? Oh, well, of course, is the diet, right? They gave this guy, this poor, woman who you thought it was a good idea, the mom, this bucket of frozen dead mice that she had to thaw and then remove the intestines from and the stomach, because that apparently they have a higher survivability if you do that. And so she had to thaw these things out, rip those things out, and then feed them these, dead mice. And of course, owls, they throw up balls of bone and skin and fur, and they're not like cats. They won't just do that in like the owl litter, right? They do it everywhere. And what was the other one? Oh, and then the other thing that people forget about owls is and I don't know if your other birds do this, but owls apparently like secrete about every week. They secrete out this like shit tar from their whatever gland, and it's nasty putrid stuff, and it just happens just wherever they happen to be. Anyway, don't get a pet owl without doing a lot of research. Anyway, moving on. Jesus, no. Yeah, like, I don't know if your other birds do that, but I imagine like most of the birds that are tropical and exotic birds that are domesticated are ones that are appropriate to be domesticated. And my understanding after learning about it through this gentleman's experience was that they're just not... don't do the Harry Potter thing. It's not practical. Anyway. What's this about having pet hookers? We don't keep pet hookers. Well, what do you do with them when you're done with them then? I wanted a pet ferret until I realized how much work having something that's permanently on Red Bull was. Yeah. Owls in the family. What's this? Okay. I'll have to look into that. I've never heard of that book. Oh God, it's Farley Mowat. It's Farley Mowat. Awesome. I'll check that out. He's a famous Canadian author. Farley Mowat. Ferrets are amazing pets, but need daily cleaning, weekly baths, and the stench is astounding. Yeah, because they're animals, right? You know? Yeah. This high-rise corner litter boxes. Yeah, anyway, pets. Choose wisely. So what I did... So then, okay, back to springs. So springs like this are not... they're no problem. They're no problem at all, all right? But there's this weird thing with springs where the larger a spring gets, the stiffer it gets. If that makes sense. And it happens almost like... It's almost like I wouldn't say it's exponential, but you know, this particular spring is no problem at all. But just something maybe double the diameter, which is what this one is, becomes a lot more unwieldy when you're using it on a model. And when it's bent, it tends to want to exert a lot of... Yeah, now back to springs. It tends to like to exert a lot more force on the resin. And, you know, you don't, sometimes when you're building with them, you don't have a lot of choice. Like, I didn't really want to drill the holes that these went into super, super deep. So I ended up just putting a piece of, where'd I put it? Here it is. What I use is inside of the spring, a really heavy-duty piece of plumbing solder. And solder, I mentioned this in past streams, is a great, is great for kit bashing. It makes, like, you better believe that all of these wires, this cabling that you see on this, I guarantee you when Luca made this the master for this, it was covered in solder because it's like the perfect material for you know, stretching and bending to the exact shape you want. So for these larger springs, there is a piece of this in it, and it's this piece that's actually glued into the holes on either end. Now, you could see, unfortunately, the ends of the springs, and so I cut some styrene tube to put over that, and then this red that you see here is Aves Epoxy Sculpt, which if you're doing any kind of kit bash or you know, custom sculpt, is like the go-to for most people. It's this. It basically is like that milliput. Yeah, if you've used it, you know what it is, although I use the gray stuff. I use the red stuff because I bought the red one. I don't know why I bought the red one, to be honest with you. But I did. Anyway, but Aves will save you a fortune if you have been using, I don't even have, I used to have some beside me here, but milliput. Yeah, red goes faster. Hey, Four Dads, how are you? How are you? On Wednesdays, I stream from 6:30 p.m. or thereabouts to around 9 p.m. With a hard sort of stop at 9, just to satisfy the those of you who don't like staying up until the wee hours of the morning, or totally reasonable times in Australia. And then, so that's what's in here is the solder, sorry, and that's what's holding it in shape, and that's what I use to kind of bend it and get it to stay where it's supposed to stay. So I will sand these. I don't think I'll do it tonight. I'm going to work on the feet tonight when I'm done listening to the sound of my own voice here. But love staying up. Not so fond of such, yeah. But we'll sand that and we'll make them look nice. What else can I tell you? Oh, and these things, just so you guys are kind of get where I'm going with this design, is these will be just spaced out along here, like this, and they'll be painted in the green armor, because I like the look of that. So all of these pieces, all right, so actually let me show you the reference piece. So this is our reference that I did up kind of after our last stream where we did the weathering examples. So we've got sort of the details here with the secondary color, the main color with some chipping that's maybe not as obvious. I didn't I looked back on what we had done, this one here, and thought maybe I went a little too hard on some of these higher up surfaces. The feet might have that amount of chipping, but these are higher up ones probably not. Sort of just to get the general sort of feeling for it. So what I've done to this is I've done the hairspray chipping. I've done a little bit of the few different colors. I did the metallics. So this is what the metallic parts are going to look like. It's really simple. I'm just using the Tamiya acrylic steel, sorry, and acrylic copper. No fancy alclad lacquers or anything with this model. We'll just keep it simple. And then a whole bunch of washes, oil washes, went over this of just a brown. And by oil wash, I mean a tiny, tiny, tiny little bit of oil paint, of brown oil paint, and then a lot of the white spirits as a thinner. Same with the panel lining. That was all done with oils. I didn't use the enamel from the Tamiya enamel panel lining for this. Bit of a red to get kind of there's a different textured kind of plate up there. I decided to do that in red. And then I did a checkerboard red and yellow motif down here for these. These are like bumper, knee bumper things. You can see some of the copper a little better back there. So what I haven't done to this piece, thank you, TJ. What I haven't done to this piece is any of the oil streaking. And the reason I'm going to hold off on doing that is I thought after the fact, some of the angles of these pieces are kind of weird. and are a little, like, I'm not, like the orientation when you look at the reference art of the Schnab. I should get that on the screen. Oh, actually, I have it in the corner here. When you look at the reference art for the Schnab, it's kind of a funny one, right? Like, it's twisted, it's, you know, the angles are peculiar, right? And this is this one, but how I pose it might be slightly different, right? So I thought I should probably hold off on doing any of the oil streaking until we're a little further along and I have some of it assembled. Okay, so that's sort of what I was thinking. So I'm going to hold off doing that, but I'm glad we had the opportunity to kind of show you how some of these things were going to go together. I'm glad you're doing this, Kit. Has put me off resin kits. Even if I think I'm handy with stuff, I need more knowledge than I have now. Yeah, resin kits. I mean, hey, you can stick a resin kit together even as a beginner in scale models, but you probably would want to wait anyway, because they're kind of a lot of money compared to, you know, a standard kind of, you know, pla, you know, Gunpla, or even, you know, the other model companies like Tamiya and Armor and things like that. So your investment's a lot higher, and as a result, you sort of want to do it justice, right? But hey, keep watching, and you'll learn maybe something from me. I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm an expert at these, but I kind of know a little bit. But anyway, yeah, there's a lot more. You know, like it's not quite as I don't want to say spoon-fed as like well, actually, like Bandai kits are pretty much spoon-fed. If you're not doing any painting, right? Like you literally just have to cut them out, clean up the nubs, put them together, right? Whereas when you compare that to what you have to do for a resin kit, yeah, there's a lot more to make it look good, for sure. But hey, you know what? You're capable of doing it. Anybody is. It's just a matter of taking your time and being patient. And I don't mean, when I say Bandai spoon feed, I don't mean that to sound, you know, insulting. As somebody who many moons ago did a lot of like Airfix and you know, like Four Dads knows what I'm talking about. Like just those, and you do too, I'm sure, TJ. Like just old Armor and World War II and those types of models, they were a pain in the ass. They still are, right? Shit doesn't fit together well. You have to, you know, you have to bend pieces. You have to form pieces better. Often you have to put in filler. You need fucking glue, right? And it's just like, there's a lot to them to make them look really, really, really good. But Bandai are geniuses. They are so good at making kits that from someone who's come from doing any kind of, you know, Armor scale model, right, to the world of Bandai, you're like, holy shit, I can't believe how easy it is to assemble these things. You know? Anyway. Hey, TJ, thank you so much.
I learn something new every time I watch you.
It worked. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that, TJ. And I think you guys heard that. I got the TTS thing working. Because, you know, more moving parts makes every stream better. Yeah, you got TTS now. You have TTS now. Now, I think, though, I have it set up. I have the TTS set up, I think. And I'm not asking anybody to test this. But the printer, because I don't want to just burn through a million trees, the printer only that's 100 biddies or up. But I think TTS works for anything. Maybe. I might be totally wrong. But anyway, Airfix and Revel kits have not been updated, and the injection molds are wearing out. Trumpeter were the latest to start remaking, not just overhauling their molds. So let me ask you this, Four Dads. Are are Airfix kind of like upping their game so that they're snap fit, or is it still do you still need this stuff? Now, I just want to show you my inspiration here for the... All right, let's see here. Oh, it's actually doing that too. Is it going to do it though? It's a good test. Is it going to print? It is. Well, what the hell? Maybe we are going to burn a bunch of trees. Oh, but now that didn't do the TTS. I have it backwards, maybe. Jesus. Back to the drawing board. I'm sorry about that. I'd go look right now, but we're already into the stream here. Apologies. Anyway, I mean, test me. Here, I'll say it like the guy. Test me. Oh god, Revel kits, shutters, yeah. It's been ages and ages since I've done any armor or planes or anything like that. The closest thing I do to those kits are and I mentioned it before on the I think you owe me more free more tape sometime then. That can be arranged. But is sort of sorry, I was saying the only sort of non-snap kits ones I've done lately are the Machine and Krieger, which I've mentioned on stream before, which is like this weird sci-fi. Somebody, was it you, White Wolf, who actually came on and asked about, or maybe it was Heresy Killer. Somebody was asking about. I wish there was the combination of like German armor and mecha, and I'm like, dude. Machine and Krieger. I think I said it like that too. I said it a bit like Batman. Dude. Machine and Krieger. So it had that much more gravitas because a lot of people don't know about Ma-K, as it's called, Machine and Krieger. And it's this really cool world where World War II never ended. So the Axis and the Allies are still at war, but, and it's a big but, there was no, I don't think it was me. They're neat kits, but not quite my style. Fair enough. There was no development of atomic power. The world never learned how to create the fission reaction. And additionally, there was some injection. I can't remember the exact canon, but there was some injection of the I think it was like some alien technology which let them build the mechs that they have. Anyway, I don't like that idea. That's kind of like, well, it works on magic. It's the old magic excuse, right? But anyway, Machine and Krieger, if you want German armor in Mecha, then check out Machine and Krieger. So this was my inspiration for these little circular things on the springs. Is this one here, right? With these. And I saw those and I thought, that's really cool. That is really cool. And the other thing I noticed on this one is he's got some brass here, which I'm absolutely going to do as well. I was thinking of doing that anyway, but then I saw it on this one and I thought, that's awesome. And the reason I thought of doing this is because the Rook kit from Industria Mechanica has that kind of brass on it. You see there's one there, that guy there. And I thought, that's brilliant. I'm going to do that. He's got antenna and things too, which I'm going to put in. So we'll do all that, of course, way down the road. But you can see here, this is probably just wire with another little piece of polystyrene on them. But anyway, so that's where I kind of got that. That's where I kind of got that idea for those. So that's what those are going to look like. I'm just going to leave them loose for now. So they're going to probably drive everybody. They're probably going to trigger a lot of people. But I want to be able to clean the spring up because I don't know if I don't know if I'm going to paint the spring. I may just leave this spring in the natural sort of steel. I will be painting the ones on the feet though. So one thing that surprised a lot of people, Revel Big Boy, lots of gluing. Yeah, so you're just going through not snap fit, still rubber band tracks. Yeah. See, they just haven't caught up, have they? Only, okay, then the Italeri Huey, only a little glue. They did Cold War era. Now, if they did Cold War era T-74 inspired stuff by Wallet, well, maybe it'll catch up to that. I don't know. I mean, I think they're still making stuff. I think it's actually I don't know because I know Hasegawa used to do the Maquet stuff, but it's kind of all getting reissued as Wave. I don't know. I just don't know enough about it. I don't know, Drift, if you know a little bit about Machine and Krieger, but anyway, I imagine like Drift and Echibat kind of they're all humble and everything. They have this few little things here and there, building a big what's it. But I swear they have a warehouse. Like there's a warehouse in Las Vegas that's owned by those two that is like the one at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark that the Ark of the Covenant is stored in. They have a room somewhere with just that. I swear they do because they just mention they drop a lot of kit names and I'm like, Anyway. World War II game, neat. Almost half my scale model is backlog. Almost half my scale model backlog is T-74, T-80, or T-90. You got the T. Revel will need to pick up their game in the aircraft and ship zone. Well, good. Competition is good, right? That's what it brings. It brings improvements all around. So, if that's a nice way of saying, hey, it is not a criticism. It is pure jealousy, Etchy. Pure jealousy. Hey, I put my backlog out there for everyone to see. I think you can do. I think if you type !backlog, you'll actually get. It'll give you a link to my Google spreadsheet with my backlog in it. Is that going to work? Yeah, there it is there. So I mean, I have a bunch of stuff, but I don't have like a huge backlog like some people. Although maybe this is huge to some people. I don't know. Some of the things that I have are kind of pricey. So I like resin, so I can't like buy a whole bunch of HGs and like the 20, 30 Dacus. I can't. I don't have a big one, so I curate what I buy based on what really appeals to me. And I don't have the big, huge I need to buy a lot of Gundam, Gunpla thing. I just don't. So anyway, I'm building Warhammer mech. You building a Titan? You building a Titan? Hey TJ, if you it's enough to keep you busy for a while. That's right, a long while. Because I mean. Shit, I don't know if you guys were here, but I worked it out. It took me 2 months to make that resin conversion. And this is why. I've done nothing. I've been on for an hour now, and I've done nothing. I hope I'm entertaining. Someone please tell me, if I'm not entertaining at the very least. But anyway. I feel like it's the start of the project, so I need to explain myself a little better with what's going on and what I'm doing. Anyhow. Yes, Echibat, I have a Dacus coming. But anyway, and I'm actually I was joking about it, but I am seriously considering getting the 148 scale bang doll. Like I think I may have gone past the threshold of justification in my head. You know, that little point where you're like, should I get that? No, I probably shouldn't get that. Should I? Well, maybe I should. Should I? I don't know. I should wait. And I'm feeling like I've hit that point where I might end up getting that. I shouldn't, but I might. Anyway, I'm gonna need a wider angle lens. Yeah, the door is 6 to 12 months, but that's big. Like, that's really, really big for dads. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just built a little robot that was like, you know, it was only a little under a foot tall. It took me 2 months, man. So I'm slow. Anyway. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit this with some primer. How much time do I have here? I have an hour and a half. Hit this with some primer. None of this is glued yet, by the way. None of these are glued yet. So we'll hit it with primer. I won't reprime these pieces. These ones are basically ready to go. But we'll prime the rest, and then we will do the brown and black rust layer, and then we'll hopefully, maybe just with the centerpiece, we'll do the green base layer. There won't be any of the second White Wolf, so don't be jealous. Don't be jealous. Do you know why you shouldn't be jealous? It's like 350 parts, of which maybe 200 are like that big. And there are no real instructions per se. So, like, there's a reason with the poll that we did, there's a reason I didn't have that one as an option for you guys to pick. Because it's stupid. It's a stupidly big kit. It's huge, like you said. But I mean, when you get up into the like the MG and the Verka resin conversions, they're all expensive. Hey, as far as resin kits go, I think that do I have it here still? Yeah. To me, these are good instructions, right? Where they actually say these parts go here in this thing, but they don't tell you how to assemble it at all. But they at least point out what the parts look like and that they belong to like the waist, right? Whereas the YGL one, they just really give you, well, it's not really YGL, it's Anchorat or Anchor T or whatever it is. They really just say, they just give you a picture. They really just give you a picture of what it looks like assembled, and you're on your own. So, yeah, good times. The pictures are beautiful, but and they're very helpful. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, they're hard. Those big resin conversions. Hey, I've said it on stream a number of times. These are easier to make. These full resin builds are way easier to make than resin conversions, in my opinion. Like, if you want to get into resin, start with a full resin kit that you have to pin before you do anything with the resin conversions. Because on a resin conversion, something like this part, this is 2 pieces. 1, 2, right? On a resin conversion, this would be like 80 pieces. They wouldn't tell you which ones belong to it. So anyway, my little tip. Yeah, so we're gonna paint that. The other stuff I did on the All Work No Play stream is I got the main body ready. So this part goes here like this. So you can kind of see them coming together a little bit. And I put together the gun, which you've already seen. And I worked a little bit on the stance. One thing I had to do is the stance that I want which is where this foot is back, I actually had to make some changes to the design. So normally this piece here is connected to this part down here, all right? But it doesn't fit. And so now I have it just going in there, and then it does fit. So those are the sorts of things too that you need to be willing to, sort of break the rules a little bit with resin kits like this, make it work how you want. So now that leg can go back and this one can go forward, which gives it a little bit more of a dynamic pose. So it'll sit like that. The Schnabelgun, I mentioned this in Discord earlier today as well. The Schnab is a jump mech. It's not really designed to walk. It has these fans on the bottom that are, I guess, supposed to be jets. And it sort of lifts off that way and flies forward with these. So that's why there are no knee joints. And these are also, it's based on ancient alien platypus technology. If you get Luca's books, he goes into quite a bit of detail about how they were based on the platypus. I made that up. I'm kidding. Anyway, I'm going to get the... Etchy was saying earlier that they remind her of a platypus foot, kind of, and they sort of do. I posted a picture of a platypus on her Discord, and you know she's not wrong. She's not wrong. All right, spray booth is a mess. I apologize for not being a little more prepared. I come home on Wednesdays and I have a lot to do before I can get down here and set this up. These are the paints that I mentioned that I'm using for the metals. Again, not a whole lot of paints. Well, I just mean I've been shoving stuff into it that shouldn't be there. Non-painting related things like pliers and epoxy sculpt. Alcohol. Not the good kind of alcohol. Fuck, I had a bit of CA glue on my ear. Were you stuck to it? We're like, why can't I let go of my ear? All right. Now, is the camera going to work? Let's take these apart and get some primer. We'll just work on this foot, I think. Actually, no, I've already done most of this one, so let's do this guy.
Look, everyone, hide your manga. Dreamcatcher Sky just entered Corvus's challenge. Welcome to the stream, Dreamcatcher Senpai.
Hey, Dreamcatcher, how are you? Good evening, Dreamcatcher. How are you? So you can see just tiny little springs. And these were drilled out using the God Hand. These, where did it go? These guys. These things are like stupid expensive, but they're just awesome. They're awesome. Maybe they're knockoff brands. I got these a while ago, and only the God Hand ones were available. But they're these chisel drills, like a Forstner bit, kind of. But they have a tiny little spike right in the middle that keeps them centered. You can see it there on my finger. They're awesome, but they're too expensive. They're too expensive. These are like $100 Canadian. They should not be that expensive. Dreamcatcher, hope you're doing well. I'm dandy as a box of mangoes. There's a sale on Right Stuff Anime, and I'm taking full advantage. Self-centering drill bits. Yeah, They're stupid expensive here. Are they 30 bucks? Oh, I need to buy more stuff from etchybat.com. Oh, and Etchybat, I did get your DM on Discord, and thank you. You are too generous. You are too generous. Thank you. And, like, really, I'm sorry it's late. You have nothing to be sorry about. You're a generous, beautiful person. So you see, everything is just, nothing's glued, right? Nothing is glued. So this piece we don't really need to reprime, but I'm wondering, how should I do this? I should probably glue it and then prime it, but just so you can see kind of how it all goes together. But I don't want to do those pieces. Whoops, don't want to lose these. How should I do this? Because I already have these, but I need to get primer on these springs. I think we're just going to have to glue it all together. So let's just do that. It doesn't matter. I need you. And I'm not going to bother gluing the springs. So a little bit of stuff there. And then we get the spring in the hole. And stick it in. See, there's this little piece here denotes the front. So we have two. Yeah, but little tiny 3mm Forstners, those aren't a thing, are they? Are they really only $30? That's insane. Stupid Canada tax. I should really have tested that these are the right springs before I do this, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. They do exist, but difficult to find. Put the first spring in, take the first spring out, put the first spring in and twang it all about. I have to think of a diorama for this too. Oh, and that's the other thing is I have an emote available, and I thought I'd ask if anybody had any brilliant emote ideas. They have to be brilliant. Did I say second? I meant third. I meant third emote. I should really be checking these before I stick them in, but I'm not. Alright, last one. I've seen Forster as small as 1mm, but usually... But are they actual Forstners? Like, do they have the round part? Or are they just chisels, like what I showed you for Dads? That'll do. All right. They're actual Forstners. Wow. It's crazy. Okay, let's go over here. My paint. All right, we'll just use a mahogany. First, I'll find the black in a minute. Actually, let's use this one first. Okay. Clean this. This is just Mr. Surfacer 1000. Oh, that's not going to work. Sorry, that's not going to work. I'm gonna leave it there. That's for the that's for my all work no play stream. Maybe if I'm on later you can try it. This time I'm just going to use a leveling thinner, because I don't really care if it's not matte. Mix that up good. Sorry, well. Mix that up well. We speak the Queen's English, huh? Get a glove. FYI, Corvus, not sure if you're aware, but Volks JP is releasing more resin this weekend, plus a few restocks. Oh! Well, that might change everything as far as that 1/48 scale. Huh. This weekend. I need to be more on top of that news. I just never think to follow those sites the way that you guys do. So we're just going to get some primer on these springs. That's looking pretty good. We'll give that a minute. Yeah, I'll definitely look into that, Etchy. Thank you. There's the other one I need. Right beside me. You're on all Volks lists. I need to get on those Volks lists. I need to just sit down and register everywhere. Yeah, I'm down to maybe my last 150 pipettes, because I also order them by the mother load. The other thing to be cognizant of too is these primers. They're not really designed to stick to metal that well. So when you use them on metal, it'll work, but you have to be kind of careful. You have to be kind of careful with it. You don't want to touch it too much because it could flake off quite easily. All right, so we'll start with the brown. White Wolf, if you intend on airbrushing a lot, you're going to go through so many. So start stocking up. Yeah, that helps. That helps. Because you're using the G system paints, right? My only issue with dropper bottles is how do you measure out, like, Are you going to do drops for everything? You know, if you're painting these big resin conversion kits, White Wolf, you know, what if you want 2 milliliters of paint? You know, how are you going to do that in drops? That seems like a lot of work. Put the cart. There it is. So remember, keep your air on all the time. Keep your air on all the time. Don't let go of that air trigger. Avoid the splatters. Nobody likes the splatters. It's very undignified. It's embarrassing, really. People point and laugh. Time is it? 8. We should be good for bed. We should be good. We should be good. Get to some weathering here. Haha. What happens is, if you let go of the trigger and the paint, the needle at the same time, you can sometimes get a little bit of paint stuck in the just outside the nozzle, and then when you go to use the brush the second time, right after you've done that, you'll get a big splat on your art. Another way, if you can't handle that, to avoid that from happening, is always start off the model. You know, like start out here, paint, right? Just gonna stick this on something. For a moment here while it dries. G-Paint, I've been heavily tempted to buy, doubly so since I can get it locally. Yeah. It's made in Alberta, isn't it? Or Saskatchewan, or I think it's Canadian. And maybe I'm wrong there though. Maybe I'm wrong. But I want a booth. Yeah. Well, yeah, you'll want a booth. You'll want a good spray booth if you're dealing with anything that's lacquer. So we can get rid of this. You'll see me dump pre-mixed paint back in the pots. I don't care. Even though there is technically, you know, the leveling thinner in that, I don't care. It's never really affected anything. So. So we'll just put a little bit of black on top of that. And I don't need to clean the brush out any more than that. Put the black in. It's a long walk from the LRT station, that sucks. Lots of stairs, yeah. Well, at least you have rail. We don't have rail here at all. So I'll mix less of this one. We'll just do a full milliliter, so a half millimeter thinner, half milliliter, sorry, of black. Is that black? No. That's black. I'll reuse pipettes until I can't see them anymore, see the paint anymore, and then I'll chuck them. Also, putting them in a cup like that with the pointy end up, they kind of last a little longer, I find. So we'll just move this around kind of randomly, just so that there's some variation to the rust layer that chips out. That should be fine. Stick this on here, let this dry again for a little bit. We want it really dry before we do the hairspray. Is that going to stay there? Yes. So we'll just quickly clean this out. Hey, look, I have a better area to type in the workshop. My new table saw stand is right in front of the screen. Careful. Don't type while operating a table saw. 22 items for 70 bucks. Wow, that's cheap. I wanted the Zerk paint, if it wasn't that Vin's Hobbies uses them on his Gunpla. I would think the whole thing is a scam. They won't reply to me. Huh. I haven't heard of those. You know, I've said it before, that we don't get a lot of paint up here, a lot of variety of paint, so I wanted to try the Zerk paint. Okay. Yeah. And I'm using the HPCS just to change things up a bit. I felt Echibat was getting maybe a bit too excited with the harder and Steenbeck, so need to bring it down a bit. Dreamcatcher, you're most welcome. You, TJ, Four Dads, you guys are here all the time supporting the channel. I do appreciate that. So I'm just going to give away VIPs until I'm out. Okay, so we'll just let this dry a wee bit more. So it might be pretty good. I'll hit it with the hairdryer. I should not do that with the glove on. I was more worried about activating the paint on the gloves and having that gray paint stick to the brown. And the thing is, I skinned my, sorry if I grossed anyone out earlier with my, I have a cut on my thumb that I skinned it doing some yard work. Just gonna make a little makeshift band-aid. Watch, I'll get TOS'd for gore. The tape god provides. Yeah, it's one of those things. I just took off enough layers of dermis with this old wooden handle that it looks a lot worse than it actually is. But super gross. Sorry. Yeah, apologies there for that. Okay. You'll never. The H&S is nice to look at. I agree. Put a little more on here. Yeah, super annoying. I hate hurting myself. There. All right. So, hope that's not too distracting. I could draw a little happy face on there if you want. All right, so now what we need to do is the weathering part, which is going to be the hairspray technique. I'm not going to use a chipping. I'm going to use a hairspray. And because we're doing this ghetto style. Totally not. I don't know why I said that. And bumpy here. Oh, come on. And we'll be spraying the XF71 on it. I think I'm pretty well prepared for that. Let me just move some of this stuff out of the way. What time we got? 8:10. Oh yeah, we're doing brilliant here. Brilliant. Got the epic music going. Put away this shit. On the topic of paints and whatnot, I'm glad we're starting to see more shops open, or shops carry AK and ammo, because it means we could support. Yes. AK is, I'm sure you guys have a ton of it in the States, but that's something that has only until recently been import only for us. A few hobby shops had it. Like I used to import it from Sunward Hobbies out of Toronto, White Wolf. They've had it for quite some time. But, you know, you pay through the nose. In fact, it is, even now, it's still a little bit expensive. So is this the right color, though? I think it is. I've forgotten all my colors now. Where are my spoons? Tamiya Field Gray. No, that was the dark one that we decided not to use. Yeah, it's that one. So that is the cockpit gray. Green. Cockpit green. Yeah, it's a weird thing, Dream, where... do I have any here? AK Interactive. That's Vallejo. This company, AK Interactive, for whatever reason, their logo includes a Kalashnikov. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. These guys are huge in like scale armor and war stuff. So their bread and butter are the scale model people, so they're called AK. And MiG. They also, I think, own the company that does these paints that I talked about. I think it's the same company. I may be wrong there, but I think it's the same company. Yeah, I'd love to try SMS. Absolutely. Okay, so hairspray. Yes, I think they do. They're basically, AK is basically MiGs and the Abteilung 502. So Tresemme, this is what I use. This is available to me in Canada. I think it's also available in the States. This is used by professionals, people. It's used by professionals, so it's okay. Superior hold, touchable feel. Tenue supérieure et douce au toucher. That means good for hairspray chipping in French. But that's what I use. Works well. I mean, I could chip the bottom, but I don't really think I need to. But I probably will anyway, because I'll know it's there. So 2 light coats. I'm gonna get a glove for this, or maybe I should really have a pin of some kind to hold it, but I don't. We'll just use a glove. I'll get a clean one. Oh, great. Good to know. Good to know. I'm so glad I don't suffer from that, my body trumpeter. Drift, don't know if you're still there, but I found one. White Wolf. She doesn't paint the parts you can't see. They don't paint the parts you can't see. That's a no-no. I'm joking. Nothing wrong with that. All right. I'm just going to do this over here. Shutter, yeah. Just an ongoing joke, White Wolf. If you don't want to, don't. So just 2 light sprays. I can't really do this on camera without making everything on my desk sticky. And then you can most certainly use the hairdryer. Right, and it'll get kind of a sheen to it. You can kind of tell if you've missed anything, if that sheen is missing. But then we'll just do it again, just to be safe. Nice and shiny again. Hairdryer. I would add too that a hairdryer, if you're doing these kinds of models, a hairdryer is a must-have, especially with airbrush. There's no reason to wait for paint to dry. Just use a hairdryer. And I have that on very good advice from some much more expert builders than myself, like Michael, for example. Michael Rinaldi insists on it, so I am going to do the bottom. There we go. Oh yeah, looking forward to making some of the local scale modelers shudder visibly when they find out, once they start having local meetings again. It's good to know. It's good to know. That's something I've never really done. I've never really immersed myself in the local scale model groups. I'm always on the fence about it. It's kind of like I'm like a, I don't know. I have a bit of a peculiar personality when it comes to that kind of a thing. Like, I don't mind sharing, but I share on my own terms, so I don't know. I'd have to meet somebody local who convinced me. I'm a lone hobbyist. Yeah, I think I talked about this before with you, Etchibat, where it's like, I every time I'm at my local hobby shop, they ask me, like, hey, what are you working on? What are you buying this stuff for? And, like, I'm also the sort of person that's like, well, it's none of your fucking business. But I guess I'll tell you. But only because I don't know. I don't know if they're making small talk or if they're genuinely interested. And if they're just making small talk, I don't need small talk in my life. When you're buying groceries and they ask you what you're doing, what are you doing for the weekend? Yeah, I don't know. Why are you asking me that? But, yeah, they've said, like, hey, and I say, oh, well, I'm working on a custom sort of resin kit, and it's from this Italian artist Luca Zampriolo. Oh, Kallamity! Oh my God, those are amazing. Can you come in and talk to our group? Whoa, there. Whoa. I'm just gonna take my goods and leave. That's kind of what happens, right? Just let me buy my supplies in peace. I know. But then at the same time, Etchibat, you and I both share on streams, right? We drop the knowledge on these streams, but at the same time, it's kind of like, it's different, It's different because it's on my own terms. When you're at a thing at your local hobby shop, you can't say, all right, time for me to go. Let's raid the guy over there and adios. Stop stream. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah, I think we're all on the same page here. Sharing, but with absolute control. That's exactly it. That's brilliantly put. Whereas I make conversation at the with shopkeepers and it drives Etchibat nuts. And drift for me, it's if I'm in the mood. I mean, like, I don't know if I'm easily read book-wise, but you know, I mean, I'm the sort of person, if I'm interested in having a conversation with somebody, I will absolutely talk their ear off. But I'm very selective about who I converse with. And actually, Bat, I imagine you're very similar. You seem like the sort of person who's very similar. If they're on the list, if they make the list, yes. But the person I'm buying, you know, some bananas from, and like, you know, some eggs, I don't need to talk about what I'm doing on the weekend. I don't. I'm just here to transact money, goods, in exchange for money. That's what's happening here. It's not a get to know each other. We're not, you know, we're not at a bar. Anyway, let's do some painting. I missed something from Dreamcatcher up there. Sorry. 23 items for $80, free shipping. Ta-da! I made a poor financial decision. Kidding, I can cover it. Dreamcatcher is taking donations. His Venmo is got to feed that addiction. I've never been a book hobbyist. A book hobbyist meetup. I dare not to go, lest there be something to buy. I'm not too trusted with a credit card around books. And Fordaz gets paid good money to run workshops. Well, yeah, but you see, that's different. I haven't been offered any money. It's just bring your stuff in and tell us about what you do. And, you know, I mean, I don't, like, no, don't need to do that. You give me money for that, that's a different story. Small talk at the register, that's why I love self-checkout. Our hobby shop does not have one of those. Don't mind when Donna asked me what I've never actually spoken with Donna. I've only ever just, you know, clicked buttons on their website and sent them credit card details and had candies arrive with chrome-plated goods. Let's paint. Now this will be trickier because I do not have a way of holding this. I should not have done all of the feet. Too late now. Too late now. I mean, I wonder if I could clip it, just gently clip it underneath somehow. Do I have one? Yeah, like maybe if I did this. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. All right. So we're putting on that layer of green. Now, I was reaching for the leveling thinner, which you can use with Tamiya paints, but we're not going to. We are going to use this one, because I know it plays well with the hairspray. That's right. Because that's not a lacquer thinner; it's more their solvent-based thinner, like alcohol-based thinner. Which I worry that that lacquer thinner, which works just fine with the Tamiya acrylics, might break down the hairspray. So that's a no. Don't use that. But if you're not chipping, it actually works really well. Now it's been a few days, so I think I'll clean the mixer. Sorry, I'll stir this. These things are fantastic too. If you don't have one, buy one. That looks right. They're expensive though, aren't they? White Wolf? I mean, they're certainly handier. More convenient. I mean, these Badger mixers are like $30. Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm gonna just turn the pressure down here. So I'm at about 16 psi. Now, when you're doing chipping, don't feel you need to put like a really thorough coat over everything. It's okay to have some spots where you can see the primer. I'll just catch up on chat there when we're done here. Okay. So we'll just let that dry. Put this away. 8:30, we're doing good here. We're making good time. To me, acrylic can be cleaned with lacquer thinner, no problem. Good. Okay. What did I miss here? Electric mixer, I have a Vortex. Yeah, so the Vortex mixers are very cool. I would love to have one, but that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for a, you know, them's their resin kit prices. Well, some resin kits. Them's their perfect grade prices. Now, with you paint minis, though, and also you mentioned above that you have a backlog, your backlog of minis. I have so many minis to paint. I have so many board games that are just loaded with minis that I had every intention on painting, you know, back in the day when I got them. Like Kingdom Death and Gloomhaven. Well, that's no, to a lesser extent Gloomhaven, but like, oh, I have so many. Rising Sun with all of the expansions. Ugh. There's no even point for me making that backlog list. There is not enough spreadsheet. My curiosity has piqued. Electric Sheep. Electric Sheep is a reward that's available on my all work no play. It's not even a reward. It's because I don't do rewards on that. You can trigger it anytime you want, and you'll just have to come one day and run it and see what it does. I apologize that I left that stuck up there. I might just hide. I might hide bang commands around my various scenes. You want something that can paint nice and smoothly mixed in seconds, though? It's very handy, yeah. If you're pre-thinning oil paints for brush paint, yeah, I could imagine that they'd be fantastic for that. They will give you carpal tunnel syndrome. Yes, I get that. That's cool. Start slowly. That's cool. Yeah, I can see why they're $225. Must admit, this sign contract makes me feel a little strange on the pour. Slabs aren't flat, but it's literally pour and level for 5 days. I have a nail polish mixer for paints. Love that thing. Well, that must be a similar kind of idea, Achibad, as a Vortex mixer. But a Vortex mixer is like, that's like a lab grade mixing device, right? That's why they're so expensive. Is they're not made for the hobby industry. They're like for laboratories, or should I say, laboratories. I spent that cash on the Vortex mixer because I have repetitive strain injury in both wrists. Lets me swap. Yes, familiar with Voltrix. Yeah, this definitely is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's an automatic shaker. Yeah, they're the little things with the thing that wobbles around, right? And you just hold the top of the paint. Hey, Greatest Chan, how are you? Yes, it is. This is a resin kit of the Schnabelgun from Kallamity, is what it looks like. Some examples of what it looks like painted up. It's full resin. It's yeah, it's a beautiful little kit. Kallamity is a single guy who is named Luca Zampriolo. He's kind of a bit of a legend in the Mecha Kit Bash 5-star series sort of scene. If you go to YouTube and check out Kallamity, Kallmity, you'll find his stuff, and it's super cool. It's really neat stuff. He's a legend. And Greatest Chan, like just to give you an idea of the kind of person Luca is, he scratch built a Sazabi. So he does sell these resin kits. You can't find prices or anything for them that easily. He does everything sort of through his website and his Instagram page. And his email, just info@kallamity.com. But yeah, that's sort of the sales pitch for it. I get nothing from you buying one, so don't worry, this is not sponsored content. But I have several of his kits, and they're amazing. Yes, he scratch built a Sazabi. There's a YouTube. Check out his YouTube video, his YouTube channel. Let me link it. Oops. What is playing? Damn you, YouTube. It's Luca. That's his YouTube channel. And I should have a little command that brings this stuff up for him. There it is. This is his Insta. He's also a super nice guy. You can ask him questions in the comments on his Instagram, and he'll usually respond. I mean, he's busy, but he's a really nice guy. All right, so we're probably at a good point here where we can actually do some weathering. I just need a little bit of water. And some brushes. So we'll use that one. We'll use that one. Let's have a look here. Oh, and hey, anybody, my chat's pretty much open for links. If you want to share work or anything that you guys are doing or working on, by all means, post it up in there. Or alternatively, post it on our Discord, in the well, in any of the channels really. I'm impartial. I'm joking. There's a help and not a help and crit. There's a share. There's a builds and share your work. That's the one. Share your work. That's the sign that is being worked on. The Discord is... I wonder if I have a Discord command. Try !Discord and see what that does. Yeah, that's it. Now, hopefully that isn't an expired link, because I'm dumb. I'm a dum-dum sometimes, and I don't go in there and specifically say make a link that's not expired, that doesn't expire. Try it anyway. But yeah, the Alt Create is kind of a... It's not really my Discord. It's a Discord that's shared with a number of other... Okay, great. Good to know. It's shared, Greatest Chan, with a number of other streamers. Way back when I started this channel, I toyed with the idea of starting my own Discord, but as somebody who's just starting, that's like a lot of extra work to get into and promote and everything. So Echibat, who is the administrator and moderator and pays for the thing, she offered Alt Create, so I jumped at the opportunity, and they do all the work, and I just annoy people on it. People ask me, like, 4-word questions, and I respond with walls of text and photographs, because I don't like sharing. That's really cool. That's really nice work. For dads. I'll watch you annoy people. Yes. That's like the latest one. There's one in there from today. It's a little Easter egg. I'll see if you can find it, where someone asked me a yes or no question, and I think I responded with I responded with easily 60 to 70 words, a picture of a platypus, and then maybe a postscript. Anyway, let's do this before this thing dries. Cheeseburger, 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 cheeseburger. Have a good one, Dreamcatcher. Always a pleasure seeing you. Take care, my friend. Take care. Already found it. Yeah. Oh, we need a paper towel. Okay, I gotta be out of here in like 15 minutes, so let's do this. Oh, now let me just... Where am I comfortable? I'm comfortable here. So let's just move this a little bit. That should work. I know, right? Four dads, Drift and Echibat are probably like, fuck this guy. Why did we invite him? Oh, hey, speaking of Discord, that's the other thing I should mention is... Oh, now I got to think here what I'm doing. Because while I'm weathering this, I'm not like going crazy. I'm not going crazy. A little bit up here. See how easy that comes off? Well, I don't know if you've missed anything, Greatest Chan. Listen, repeat back what you've heard. I'm teasing you. I don't know. Just feel free to post any work that you're doing in the Discord. I was just saying how I respond to questions with too much information sometimes, and that's just my personality. And then White Wolf, yes, I hope it's useful information. I don't know. Echibat's probably also thinking, oh shit, there's Aussies in here now. That's true. Sounds good, Greatest Chan. Enjoy the lurk. What I was trying to say is this Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Discord, we're going to be doing a watch party for Gundam Thunderbolt, the 2 movies. If anyone is interested, I guess come to the Discord at 2. I don't know. How does that even work? So remember, with chipping, you want corners. You always want to do corners. Corners and ridges and grooves. And because these pieces are really close to the ground, we want more down here for sure. So yeah, Sunday at 2. Gundam Thunderbolt movies. Probably about 2 hours of movie. A little more than that maybe. 2.5 hours. And Gundam Thunderbolt is just one of my favorites in the of all the Gundam movies. It was originally an 8-episode, 2-season, 8-episode ONA, and it's like one of those Gundam shows that's rated. I think it's 5 a.m. I think it's 5 a.m. for it adds. I think I did the math. I did the math on that because Etchy wouldn't, and it's 5. So I don't know if that's doable for you guys. I mean, I might be able to make it a little. We could probably maybe make it a little later, like an hour later. But anyway, so I'll be wrecked. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Anyway, it's one of those it's one of the very few Gundam series that's rated mature. So it's like super gritty and violent, and the animation is excellent. It's lots of fun. Anyway, come if you can. Come if you can. There's a watch party Discord channel that I assume is where that's all going to work. Should be fun. So you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just worrying away the paint with a really shitty brush. Nothing fancy for this. Don't use your Winsor Newtons. Well, if you do use them, make sure they're the ones that you've wrecked. And it's a pretty simple process, as you can see. Just got to think where would occur. And get in there and scrub it away. Yeah, go for it. Go for it, Four Dads. As you can imagine, up here where I live, which is the west coast of Canada, beautiful British Columbia, home of rugged men and lumberjacks. This is where I break into the Lumberjack song. That's not going to happen. I mean, don't get me wrong, I can sing, but I need to be a little drunker. Miss this side. I'll just do that side. Might come back on all work and no play and do this a little bit more tonight. Maybe. No guarantees. There's a pretty funny song about Canada done by an Aussie group. I can't remember who they are. Four Dads, you and TJ might know or maybe have heard it. But it's just called You Can't Say C-U-N-T in Canada. And it's a comedy song, obviously, but it's pretty funny. Because in case people don't know, like that word is considered a pretty offensive word up here. Whereas it is not. At least I don't think it is. I think the gist of it is not considered that offensive in Australia. At least Arrogant Worms didn't do a song about your province. Oh wait, they did. They didn't do Alberta either, but Newfoundland, yeah. I think I know that one. I think I know that song, White Wolf. Geography song. Okay, we're just coming around the horn here. Almost got it. Kevin Bloody Wilson. Okay, yeah, I've only ever heard the song, so I don't know. Yeah, it was a pretty funny song. If I remember it correctly, it's just the lyric is, you know, the verse is you can't say C-U-N-T in Canada, but you can say, and then he lists off a whole bunch of other things that are okay up here. So take a look at Gander. Blackheads might be fun. Yeah, it sort of rings a bell. Yeah, go ahead. You can post it in my Discord if you want. In like my channel there. Alright, let's just make sure I didn't miss any sides. That one needs a little bit there. So we won't be able to do the silver and copper tonight, but we'll get this done. Before we call it. Hang on a minute, sorry. Deal with a text message here. that one. Forfeits. Hello, how are you doing? You dropped in right at the end here. We are currently weathering up a Kallamity. Luca Zampriolo designed Schnabelgun, working on some hairspray chipping. She's got that done. So looking pretty good. This is ultimately sort of the reference paint job that we're going for. This has had a few layers of other things on it, which is why it's slightly different color. So yeah, that's basically the gist of it. So we'll continue on with that. I'll probably do a bunch more of this stuff over the next day, and then I'll be back on greatest chan. Look at you getting the gift sub. Etchybat, big heart, big black and white heart right here from me. Thank you so much, you wonderful person, you. ASCII art. So this technique forfeits, just before I sign off here, is there's a base coat that's done entirely in the rust color. Okay. Catchy pad. Arigato. Too generous. You beautiful person, you. You beautiful person, you. Forfeits, welcome to the club. Here's your ticket. Thank you, Etchybat. Yeah, it's basically reverse weathering. It's called the hairspray technique, right? Where you paint the rust coat, and then you layer it with just basic tresemme used by professionals. Touchable feel, very important. Hairspray. I use number 3. You spray that on, you let it dry, and then you paint over it with acrylics. I'm using the Tamiya, that is not it. I am using Tamiya acrylics, those ones, okay? Thinned with the standard X20A thinner. And then once you've done that, hey, I'm sorry to hear that, Greatest Chan. Not sure why that's not working, but yeah, that's right. You want something that's in between. All hairspray is a thank you, Etchybat. All hairspray is it's an alcohol-based adhesive, water and alcohol-based adhesive. It evaporates off, leaves the adhesive behind. You spray over it with an acrylic, with the acrylic thinner appropriate to it, and then you just use some water. You reactivate the paint, and you can pull it away with the brush, just like you saw me doing. It's super easy to do. There's also, if you want more of a pockmarked effect, you can also use the salt and hairspray chipping, where you spray the hairspray on, then you drop grains. Oh, bummer, going over hairspray chipping at the moment. I'm not sure what you mean there, Etchybat. Oh, to Greatest Chan. Okay. Yeah, again, sorry, Greatest Chan, that you can't load the stream. Maybe try again on Friday if you're around. Or try lowering the size, the resolution. Maybe it's a bandwidth issue, but yeah. And so that's basically how it works. It's super easy and fun to do. So yeah, hairspray chipping. All right, so let's see here who is still on. Because weirdly enough, yours is the only stream I can watch at full speed. Interesting, down in Australia, hey? Well, I mean, I have really, really good internet connectivity. Like I have full fiber optic gigabit up and down. So, I mean, there's no reason, and I stream at 1080p, 60, I think 60 frames, but usually you see dry brushing for weathering. Yeah. So this is a sort of a just a bit of a different technique. It's quite common. Yeah, fun stuff. You have 1.5 gig down. Yeah, I mean, I could get. Maybe I have 1.5 down and 1 gig up. I know I definitely have 1 gig up. I know I have a lot. I have big bandwidth. Just threw me a curveball. What? How's that, Forfeits? Just you've never seen this technique used? That's great. Introduce you to something new. I'll be doing more of it on Friday night. I'm just sort of wrapping things up now, but there's tons to do. This is a big model, and can't even imagine those sorts of speeds because politics. Yeah, you'd be Four Dads. Your government would immediately assume that all you would do is download porn, right? So, yeah, I mean, that's why you can't have the big bandwidth, because that's what the Australian government thinks of their population, is all they're going to do is download porn. So they introduced actual federal-level porn filtering. It's the most bizarre thing in the world. But, yeah, there's freedom for you. But anyway, yeah, Forfeits, I'll be around. I stream on Wednesday from 6:30 to around 9 p.m. And then again on, that's why you download a game too. They'll never see that. That's right. And then I'm on again, Forfeits on, and Greatest Chan. I'm on again on Fridays and Saturday nights from around 10:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to late. 2 o'clock, sometimes even 3 o'clock, depending on if I'm actually accomplishing anything and my brain's still working. So yeah, everybody, it's been a slice. It's been a skookum stream, as they say here in the Great White North. Yeah, and sorry, I have an all work no play channel that doesn't have a schedule. And it's a non-affiliate channel. I'm going to keep it non-affiliate regardless of whatever happens with it. And the idea there is I often will work on this stuff with some tunes going, not interacting, not having the chats. Sometimes I cheat and I do chat a little bit, but it's one where I really try to get things done, because if I don't work a little bit on these models in between streams, they will never get finished. So that's kind of what it was for. Last night I was on quite a bit yesterday, actually twice, and I did a fair amount of the prep work of the bare resin, and that's kind of what the point of that stream is. But I also like to play, I play some good, actually completely illegal to stream kind of music, in the hopes that I don't get a DMCA takedown request. There's no VODs, there's nothing like that. I think we'll fly under the radar for as long as we can with that, but the idea there is that it's just going to be like music and me building. Put it on while you're doing something, chat if you want, it's cool. Yeah, so let's see who else is on. And go from there. That's a great emote. That's a really good emote, Forfeits. So, wait, are you a streamer, Forfeits? You are. What sort of stuff do you stream? Oh, wait, I've raided you, haven't I? I know you. Shit, and I'm not even following you. Oh, no, that's a different account. I am following you. Here, let me get some shout-outs before I go. So anybody, if you haven't followed, that's right. You know the exact date. That's hilarious. There's Forfeits. He's you're a mixed streamer. You sort of do a little bit of everything, don't you, Forfeits? You do some builds as well as some gaming. I think I saw you playing Monster Hunter, yeah. But yeah, awesome. Really, really chill guy. You have a great stream, and yeah. Four Dads, you are officially my secretary. No, I'm joking. Monster Hunter, build plastic models, Stardew. Yeah, I remember now. Awesome stuff. I'm also gonna shout out Four Dads. Four Dads is the builder of big kits. He's working on a Titanic. He's working on a Dora. I don't know if you've done any of that on stream though, have you? And what else? Other big stuff, big kits, big kits. And of course, Etchy Bat, Resin art, Lego, ball jointed dolls. A wonderful person, super generous, does lots of stuff, and always a pleasure to watch. And I think that's it. I don't know if White Wolf. Do you stream? Ooh, a Gundam Exia. Awesome. That's awesome. I do not stream. Yeah, I didn't think so. It's always embarrassing shouting out people who don't stream. Yeah. So anyway, that's basically me, guys. That's it. I'm done. Let's see who else is on. And forfeits. Yeah. I will be back on Friday. So if you're around, hey, check it out. And I'll be working more on this. I know you just came right at the end. But yeah, good stuff. Full resin kits. I mean, I was doing the conversion before forfeits, but my main jam is the big resin kits. I love those more than the conversions are fun, but they're really time consuming. Whereas these ones, we should be done this. Like this is a 1 month one. So yeah. All right. As opposed to a 2 month one. Etchy's laughing right now saying, yeah, for sure. Sure, Corvus. Sure, it's a 1 month. It wasn't a Suzabi. It was the Double Zeta, Gundam Double Zeta. I have the YJL Suzabi, but I don't think I'll do that on stream. We were talking about that earlier. It's like 300 plus pieces. It's like, I don't know. It'll be like a 3 month. That'd be a 5 month project. Let's see. We got Warlander. He's on, doing some Warhammer. It's Christmas or Thanksgiving for this one. Quiet, you. Bad Mood Leather. Let's raid Warlander. I like Warlander. He's a nice guy. Also from British Columbia. He's painting some minis. So let's do that. I know some of y'all are mini painters, so stick around for the raid. All right, everybody. It's been fantastic. TJ, thank you so much for the bits. Thank you so much for the bits. Much appreciated. Etchybat, and thank you for the two tier 1 subs for Greatest Chan and forfeits. You're too generous. Thank you so much. I will see all of you. Well, Etchybat, hopefully you stream tomorrow. Etchybat will be on tomorrow around 6 p.m. Pacific time. If you want to catch her doing that. I don't know, Etchybat, if you're doing Lego or if you're doing more of the Baba Yaga hut, but Etchybat's a super fun stream. She does gambling too sometimes, which is lots of fun. Yeah, I'll be back on Friday. So everybody, have yourselves a great rest of the week. I don't know yet. Gonna see how I feel. Yeah, sounds good. Hey, sounds good. And I will see you guys all on Friday. Take care and have a great week, everyone. Bye. See you, forfeits. Cheers. Bye, TJ. Bye, everybody. Adios.